All right, COVID-19 does not exist in Nigeria. That sounds like a quote. The virus can be cured by eating garlic. Well, the temperature in Nigeria will not allow it to thrive. Yes, that's a quote, actually. Well, these are some of the denials from a community in Plateau State, says His Royal Highness Iso Maman, a traditional leader in Bassa, local government area of Plateau State. Well, according to him, the result is a frustration of sensitization efforts aimed at changing behaviors in the community, which are critical to ensuring adoption of non-pharmaceutical interventions like social distancing, mask use, hand and respiratory hygiene. These misconceptions have informed the decision by the World Health Organization WHO field office in the state to support the government to scale up strategies to demystify COVID-19. We're now being joined by Dan Mangjan, Commissioner for Information, Communication Plateau State. Glad to have you join us, Dan. Well, before we begin to talk about misconceptions and the garlic, let me start by asking you why Plateau State suddenly is taking to the tour of the epicenter of this disease in Nigeria. Why has the government got it wrong? And then what efforts are being put in place to correct this trend?
Yes, thank you very much. There are no thoughts. The government has not gotten it wrong in any way. What has happened is that there is increased testing as a result of increased awareness about the disease. People are increasingly getting aware. Whole communities are testing. The testing center that used to be one are now 3, and they are all testing. All civil servants have been tested. And above all, one of the reasons is that most states in the Federation of Nigeria are no longer testing. The PTF yesterday alluded to that point, but Plateau State continues to test. We are the third on the radar of of states that are testing. And again, the people are not obeying the protocols that have been set by NCDC. And that cannot be blamed on the government at all. Government should be applauded because we are taking responsibility on behalf of the citizens of Plateau State, and we have stepped up the testing, and we will continue to do that. As I talk to you, one of the reasons is because there is a backlog of samples that have been taken that are in the laboratory at the National Veterinary Research Institute in Rome. But by the time we have over 2,000 to 2,500 samples that have not yet been dispensed of. And that is the reason when this is done, the numbers increase. But it is not the fault of government in any way. But the most important thing is that we have stepped up our testing. We have agreed that the virus is with us, and we are going to make sure that we attack it in the best way possible. We are not like other people that are denying and other people that have stepped down their own testing. That is the reason.
All right, what would you say to the quotes we read earlier on about His Royal Highness being quoted saying that, talking about Iso Maman, all right, a traditional leader in the Bassa local government area, who says COVID-19 does not exist in Nigeria and the virus can be cured by eating garlic. Like you and I know, there are no cures for COVID-19 as of this moment.
Yes, for a traditional ruler to have said that, it is most unfortunate, is the most despicable thing that we have had in recent times, and to have come from a traditional ruler in Plateau State is most surprising and worrisome. It is unfortunate, and we step up and look at it. What the state government has been able to do, the state government knows that there's no cure for COVID, but the state governor has been able to assemble a group of researchers led by Professor Wanang, the head of department of the pharmaceutical department of the University of Jos, to come up with a solution. And they have come up with 3 solutions, and they are right now undergoing clinical testing. But for somebody to just sit down, he is not a medical person. He is not even a traditional medical man. to say that COVID can be cured by garlic is most despicable, and the Plateau State government do not share in his sentiments in so whatsoever.
Thank you for that clarification. I'd like to go back to the first point that you made about the fact that increased testing in Plateau State is the reason why we are seeing Plateau State being now the fourth highest state for numbers of cases in Nigeria. I find that a bit concerning because it kind of reminds me of the United States with Donald Trump and how he always tries to argue that increased testing is the reason why America is the epicenter of the world. But we all know that with better leadership, America could have saved a lot of lives. So there must be something going wrong here in terms of how the state government is connecting with the people and sending that message across. And you're the Commissioner of Information. What are those challenges that you are facing? Because you did also mention that people are not following the guidelines. So we do know that it's not only because of increased testing, sir.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we do not share the sentiments of American government. We are Plateau State government in Nigeria in a very obscure corner here. But I can assure you that we are on top of the situation. If you look at the fatality rate, it's about 1.1% fatality rate on the plateau compared to other states. And I can tell you, the more you test, the better. For the fact that we have people that contact this virus, the people are increasing does not mean that the problem is much. But I can assure you and assure the whole world that that is the best way to go about the fight for this virus. The best way is to increase the testing. The best way is to tell people that to follow the protocols and boost their immunity. Once you boost the immunity of the people is boosted, they would be able to live and they may be asymptomatic, but because their immunity level is very high, it's not going to affect people medically in any way. And so that is what we are doing as a government. We are not relenting, and irrespective of the various reasons that I have given, we are doing our best to make sure that people continue to obey the protocols. We are doing our best to make sure that the testing centers are more functional. We are doing our best to make sure that the reagents are provided, that the state government steps in. We are speaking with NCDC to make sure that they step up the game. As far as Plateau State is concerned, we would desire that everybody on the plateau gets tested. And the communities have imbibed that, the traditional rulers have imbibed that, and that is what we are doing so far as the moment as I'm talking to you.
All right, Commissioner, it's one thing to say that your state is testing. I mean, that's your state, and you can say that about your state. But then to say that other states are not testing, that's another ball game altogether. I'm sure so many states wouldn't agree with that. I just wanted to chip that in. But these misconceptions that we've highlighted here about COVID-19 are widespread in Ogomo, Pengana of Basa. So how are you dealing with these misconceptions considering the negative effect it might have in government's efforts towards tackling COVID-19?
Yes, now that you have said that, I am just hearing that now that you have said that, and it has come to our knowledge, I can assure you that we will focus on Pengana, not only on Pengana Chiefdom, but we will focus on the Basa local government as a whole to make sure that the right thing is done. We will intensify, we will call on the attention of the Traditional Council of Plateau State, ably led by the Bongom Jos, to make sure that he calls the Ogomo Pengana to order. The government is going to step in, and all that it takes that we will do the enlightenment, the risk communication bits we will do. We will do our best to make sure that the Pengana people, that we dissuade them from that kind of belief, that kind of thinking. It is most unfortunate that a traditional ruler of that magnitude will come out and say such things. It's most despicable, and the government does not accept it. It's not acceptable to us in any way. We will step up, and then we will step up in the situation and arrest it.
All right, Dan, let's now focus on how things have actually played out in terms of COVID-19. We know that it has brought quite a lot of hardship to people, not just in Nigeria, but globally. What is the government trying to do in terms of palliative to help cushion the effect of COVID-19 on its citizenry?
Yes, recently we as a government had to look at our appropriation bill, that is the budget 2020, and initially we had a budget of 177 billion naira, but we had to scale it down. We reassessed the budget and we scaled it down to about 77 billion naira. And in the 2020 appropriation bill, initially we did not accommodate COVID-19 because it was not there. Now that COVID came, we had to rescale the budget and we had to look at it again and accommodate COVID-19 in the budget. So government has done its own part. We have a figure both for recurrent and capital expenditure that will take care of COVID-19. Apart from that, the state's economic advisory team has been reconstituted to make sure that they look at the post-COVID, because the people will have to leave after COVID-19. There's a post-COVID-19 era. They are looking at economic measures that will have to be put in place so that our people will not be shortchanged, our people will not suffer. That is taking place. The government itself had to cut down costs of governance by 40%, and every political office holder had to cut down his allowances by 50% to contribute to the fund, to the common post, so that we can fight the cause of this pandemic that has bedeviled humanity. That is what we have been able to do in Plateau State, and that is what we'll continue to do.
All right, Commissioner, before we let you go, it's interesting to know that WHO, World Health Organization, is supporting Plateau State to engage traditional rulers in grassroots sensitization. Can you tell us more about the support of WHO?
Yes, the WHO is supporting Plateau State and many other states through the NCDC. We are in receipt of funds from the NCDC in that direction, and the funds are being applied in conjunction with the Ministry of Health. Apart from that, there is, I'm sure you are aware of the CACOVID. CACOVID, that is a Dangote group and associates that are in the fight for COVID-19. They have supplied palliatives that are going to sustain about 35,000 households on the plateau. So we are thankful to WHO, and we want to assure them that everything that they have deployed to Plateau State in terms of money and in terms of materials are being put to judicious use. Of course, that is going to be reported. A report is going to be sent back to WHO, and by next time they will have confidence in what we are doing.
All right, before we let you go, Dan, we want to find out from you. Schools are reopening in some part of Nigeria. What is the state of things in Plateau State? Are students still going to be kept back at home, or when are schools going to be reopening?
Yes, as to when schools are going to be reopening, I would not be able to tell you categorically, but I can tell you that we are in line with the protocols that are being set by the Presidential Task Force. We study what the Presidential Task Force is saying, and we key into it. As far as we are concerned, as a state government, we wouldn't want to do anything outside what the federal government is doing. So far, the students that are exiting school are in school now, but I can assure you when we get the go-ahead from the federal government, from the Presidential Task Force, we will key into it. We are desirous of the fact that schools should reopen, and that is the position of the state.
Many thanks to you, Information Commissioner in Plateau State, Dan Mangjan, for joining us on Newsday today to share or give us a greater insight on the situation in Plateau State. Have a great day.